What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. My name is John, and today I wanted to talk about life skill crystals. Now, these came out a while ago with the Land of the Morning Light, and with a bit of time, I wanted to share my experience with all of these and tell you what I think is decent and what you should get. So we're going to look at every single life skill as a general, and I'll tell you what I think of all the prices, can you get them, how to actually get these crystals yourself without actually having to buy it, and or I would recommend just buying it, to be honest. But anyway, so some crystals have a better return with mastery versus just standard XP. And I don't think there's a right or wrong choice, because the faster you level up, after a certain point, I think in like it's either master or guru, you start getting permanent mastery, like 5 points every time you actually level up one. So at some point, it is probably better to start switching from XP to mastery. But if you are just starting out and you're wondering where to go, I'll try to help you guys with that. So every life skill is different in a way of what effects it gives when you get more mastery. So how you figure that out is just hover over each one under the mastery tab and you'll see what each stat does. All right, so first of all, let's talk about how do you actually get half of these life crystals, or like all of them. So in your magic crystals, you go down to the functional crystal tab and then sort by all of these, and then these crystals give XP, whereas some of these give mastery. And I think as a general whole, mastery is better than XP, but I wanted to go break that down into my experiences. And so first of all, if you have Land of the Morning Light unlocked, you'll get some of these crystals down here that are forest crystals, and you basically talk to an NPC that exchanges them, and you get to make a crystal of choice that you want, which is what you just saw. And other ways to get those crystals in the Land of the Morning Light is basically have a lot of nodes going on, and you'll find the one that gives the actual forest crystal. And honestly, all the CP in this new region or all the nodes are 1 CP. So I think some of these are actually worth it. If you are a new player, would I still recommend getting these? Probably not, because I would say the rate of getting half of these things is really low, to the point where if you are a beginner player, it's not really worth it. But if you are, I guess, mid-tier and you have more contribution points than you think you actually need, or you just have some left over, then it might be actually worth it to start looking into them. So I have a video where I go over all my nodes, and you guys can see what I have for every region, but we're not going to talk about it. Just pick the nodes that you think are worth it and that have like the forest crystal ones on it, and then yeah, you get it. And then you keep the node on it and hope you get it. Honestly, I've only gotten 2 since Land of the Morning Light came out, so that's like maybe 4 months to get 2. It's not great, so if you can buy it, I'd recommend doing it. All right, with that said, let's talk about every single life skill, and is it worth getting the XP or mastery? So I'm going to just speak about this in a way of my experience, and some life skills is easier to get more mastery than others. Like, for example, gathering, you have the Liana's tool bag, you can get all the tools that you want, which also gives an extra like 400 that some other life skills can't get, 400 extra mastery. So I would say gathering is one of the life skills where mastery is very important. It is also very easy to actually get to 2000 if I were to put on all my life skill gear. And they actually do give a lot of these secret book of Florins, which are basically mastery books. And one thing that people don't actually really understand is, you know how this says life skill mastery plus 100? That's actually worth a lot in terms of equating that into silver. but people just use this randomly when they get it, because I mean, you just get it from events and stuff. But when you break it down into profits for like cooking or gathering, that 100 extra mastery, if you were to compare it to, like, let's say your full tri monos, and then going from tri to tet monos, actually we can look at this real quick. So a tri monos is 65 mastery. Going to 90 is 25. Hold on. Let me know that. Yeah, 25. So by 100, you're looking at 4.5 billion silver to 26 billion. So that's a lot. So that's like 100 mil or 100 billion silver if you want permanent. So either way, 100 mastery is a lot. So don't just use these randomly. Actually know what you're doing before you use them, and you can actually turn that into a lot more profit if you know what you're doing. So with that said, gathering is one of those things where it's time gated by your energy, and you could speed that up by getting those XP or energy pots and everything. But it is one of those things where I'd recommend getting mastery, and it is easy to get 2,000, which is the current cap for all life skills, because the tool gives like another 400, and then the clothes are the same for basically everything. And just stacking mastery is pretty good, but at some point when you get to the crystals, you're probably going to be wondering, should I just get XP, because it is gated and like it is very time consuming. So I personally do a little mix of both of them, just because gathering is time consuming, but if you want to get to the next bracket, it's good. So basically the way mastery works is every 50 mastery will put you into a slightly higher tier of whatever things. So like, for example, gathering, let me see, where is it? Okay, so here. So if you look at any of these, basically the drop rate for all these different things is higher, and so putting you up into the next bracket is very good. Processing is basically more mass process, and as we all know, processing is an AFK activity. You're generally not watching it. You're probably setting it to auto process and then doing something else on the side. So in this case, I think processing, obviously, if you're actually taking the value in time, then yeah, you want more mastery. But if you're just leaving it on as you're working and you don't care, and you just come back like 2 hours later and it doesn't matter, then I would go XP. So all it does is basically allows you to mass process more. And at some point, if you're just coming back and checking every 15 minutes, then mastery is, you want to get as much done as possible, especially if you have like millions of logs from 7 years of playing like I do, and just having nodes go off, then you want to make sure to check it as much as possible. But if you aren't checking back frequently, then I would just go the XP route, because getting Guru 50 is a nice number to have. That's really it. It doesn't really mean anything. Fishing is, I guess, I would say a majority of players just do this AFK when you're like, people leave the game on overnight and you come back the next morning, sell the fish, and then make some profit. So this one is a little bit of a different one, because mastery is like, it helps you catch more in terms of the rarer fish, but at the same time, fishing is not super profitable. Like, you'll get more, but it's not a lot more. You're just maybe like another 20-30 mil overnight. Cool, I guess. So if you also look at all these tabs over here, it tells you at like what tier. So like skilled, professional, artisan, master, guru, and all that stuff. It tells you like what the higher levels actually do. So basically, after master for fishing, it's kind of irrelevant. If you're auto fishing and AFKing, it doesn't matter. So mastery is important. but it also is not like, I wouldn't spend 50 billion silver or like 60 billion on the fishing thing just to AFK fish. Like, you have to be active fishing, otherwise you're probably not making that silver back for a really long time. Okay, so hunting. Hunting is actually one where mastery is very important, especially if you're starting a new character, starting it at beginner 1, because by having the higher mastery as a base. So let me just look at this. Monos hunting. So we're gonna keep this in mind. So the pen Monos close is 400 mastery and Tet is 300. Just keep that in mind while we talk about this. So my hunting character right now, well, this is my other character. I just leave it at Narcion, so when the Rar comes out. But anyway, I have hunting on here as Master 4 as well. So what it does is basically allows you to use the matchlocks at an earlier level. And so let me show you. So our master, the master matchlock, you can use it at Artisan 10, but I think this one is just like, by the time you get there, it's irrelevant. This one is the Artisan matchlock. You can start using it when you have a mastery of 400 or professional 10. So if you have 400 mastery at beginner 1, you can use it. That's why it's important. So basically, I think hunting is one of those things where mastery is important and you just get more stuff along the side. It's kind of like gathering, but you're hunting for it instead of collecting a specific material. You're getting a mixed bag of things. So hunting, mastery is important. And so is XP, actually, because sometimes it goes slow, or some people just don't like hunting just because it's like, it's a different change of pace, but it depends on you. I would probably start stacking more mastery on here. It is a very profitable life skill. I think it's good. All right, so cooking. This one is a tricky one to talk about because cooking mastery is important, but so is XP. So there's 2 routes you do, and you actually do both of them. So there's the Imperial delivery route versus you're just AFK cooking whatever you're cooking, right? So if you want to just level up early, the things you would look at are probably this thing. You're probably wondering, okay, so Silver Embroidered +3 is -4 cook time and +20% XP. Whereas if you have a Mastery or Monos one, I actually tried to go for pen and it didn't go. So that's why it's duo, by the way. So let me just show you a actual example. Monos cook close. At Tet, it's 300 mastery, but it doesn't give XP, and it also doesn't reduce your cook time. So, as we all know, when you're doing alchemy or cooking, the goal is to get the lowest amount of time, which is, I believe, 1 second per craft when you're doing cooking. So what I personally do when I'm just making random things is I personally do the XP, and then when I do Imperial Delivery, I put on the Mastery stuff. But it also allows you to just proc more, and then allows you to make higher grade dishes, more of them. So basically, this one's a really tricky one. I think up until a certain point, XP is fine, but once you get to the Guru, like if you're just trying to start from beginner 1 and you want to get to Guru so you can do boxes and everything, yeah, I would start with XP. But then once you're at like Guru 29 or something, just mastery as far up to 2000 is the way to go. So this one, yeah, is a tricky one. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. If you want more profit, then you obviously you do mastery, but if you want to do it as fast as possible, cooking time is definitely very important. So depends how much you value an hour of your time, or do you want more money? So alchemy is kind of the same thing, except I personally don't really do Imperial Alchemy, because if you're just going for silver profit, then just doing Imperial for cooking is a lot more, and it's cheaper and easier to do. So for alchemy, I personally use the Monos close because it's kind of like cooking, where we talked about you can proc extra chances of making various things. And I've definitely gotten like rare alch stones and stuff and just sold it. So it's better to have more or mastery for alchemy. So it is what it is. Also, I made a video the other day of how to get to Guru Alchemy pretty quickly, and it is important to use XP and cook time, whereas, like, you know how in Alchemy, they both have reduced time to craft, but this one doesn't give as much, or the Monos doesn't give XP, whereas this one does. So, depends. Are you doing things for profit versus trying to save time? I personally just use mastery all the way from whatever I did to Guru, and there's that. Training, basically training your horses. Mastery is very important here, and this one's a little bit tricky to talk about because there's a lot of different names for XP when you do this. So there's training XP, horse XP, life skill XP. And you're probably confused on what half of those actually mean. So let me actually just show you. I think I have an item that I could show an example of. We use this as well. Hold up. Yeah, okay, so right here. So there's Mount XP and then Training XP. You can also see these with these things as well. So Mount XP is the XP your horse gets to level up. So like, you know how there's an XP bar? Your horse gets that. There's Training XP, which is Training XP, your character's life skill. And then there's Life Skill XP, which is the same thing as like a general whole of XP. So it's a little bit confusing for new players. You see 3 different kinds of XP for training, and you're just like, what do I do? So just know the one that really matters is horse XP. What training does is obviously right here. You can read it on screen. So the higher your level, the more silver you get when you're selling it to the market, or like not market, but like NPC selling horses. And well, I guess it also is market. When other people buy it, you get taxed less, so you make more silver, and you get the chance to gain higher speeds, as well as you have a higher chance to learn skills, which is less important. I have a video for training on how to get every single horse skill on the ones that matter, like a tier 9 and 10, how to get every single skill 100% of the time. So for the chance of you to gain a new skill, that's really irrelevant. I mean, it is what it is. But the thing you would probably be doing it for is for the XP, or no, the silver collection. Basically, you make more money when you're selling it, and the higher chance of like permanent stats. So the thing you want to look for when you're looking for training is, I guess, more mastery, because it just allows you to get more mounts XP when you have this one, and then it is what it is. Just get it to as high as you can. Once you're like higher up in the tiers, you just make more money, and it is what it is. Trading is a dead life skill. You shouldn't be doing it. The way it works is you take some trade crates from point A to B. The amount of XP you get and profit is based on distance. So if you took something from Grana to Valencia, you would make more silver than if you took it from like Heidel to Velia. So trading has just been a dead life skill for multiple years now, because it just doesn't compete with all the other life skills, and I think it's just something that they need to work on, and it's not even competitive. It's like you're making maybe 50 mil an hour, versus if you grind or do a lot of other life skills, you're making at least 500 mil an hour. So it's not even close. But it says you get to increase the type of trade items and profit bargains, it doesn't matter. Just don't even bother with trading. It's wait till they fix it. Farming is actually one of those things. I don't even think they have farming monos closed, but either way, once you get to Master 1, it's kind of irrelevant. So I would just try to stack XP if you want to. Basically what it does is allow you to use less energy. So this is one of the things where XP, more important, and even then, at Master 1, all you get is the old moon fence, and that's it. So kind of irrelevant. I would not really just spend money on trying to boost farming at all. Sailing and bartering are actually important. So the higher your mastery, I think it's every 50 you go up 0.5 on the stats of your boat. So that's actually really important. And bartering is reduced parley, which is actually very huge. If you're trying to min-max it, you're doing other things as well. Let me actually see. I think on my sailing character, you have this thing. Yeah, Crow's trade vouchers basically recovers parley. You can only use it 4 times, but it's not really worth using these unless you get something super rare. But for the most part, though, mastery is important, but sailing is actually very difficult to do. I guess it's not important unless there was more sailing content. Back in the day, we used to PvP with our boats and then just try to practice. Nowadays, with naval fame, it's kind of dead. So there's like no PvP for boat things. It's like, how fast can you do your sailing dailies? And if you want to go grind in the ocean, killing sea monsters, your boat goes slightly faster. I will say though that there is like very little profit to grinding in the ocean. I have some videos of me doing the Leprechaun stuff as well as saltwater crocodiles. It's not really profit. You're just getting items to make your boat better, which is like negative money anyway. So bartering is pretty decent as an AFK activity. Mastery 0. Yep. Basically, you just get more mastery. So like, this is my sailing character, and it has... I used to have this at Tet, and then I tried to go for a pen attempt, and it just yeeted myself all the way back to Pry. But anyway, a lot of these are just AFK activities. You don't really watch it too often, and there is a cap by Parley, so like, there's a maximum you could make a day, technically. Whereas grinding or something, you just can grind all the hours you want to. So anyway, that was all of them. I think the ones that are notable are gathering and cooking, hunting. Everything else is just whatever you want to. So yeah, with that said, hopefully that helped you. We covered how to get the crystals, nodes, and my thoughts for all the life skills. So hopefully it helped. And with that said, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Love to see you guys come back, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.